Dear friends, welcome to this Bhandara event of Ishwarji. With the grace of Huzur Maharaj Baba Sawan Singh Ji and our beloved Ishwarji, we are blessed to have this event in Delhi. This event is happening in both the modes, the online mode and the offline mode. The live YouTube stream is available on our YouTube channel and is also available on the website ishwarpuriindia.org. So people who are joining us online can refer to that link and can join us online. Few usual instructions. Please, people who are here in the room would request you to please turn off your mobile phones or turn them off, either turn them off or keep them on silent mode. Please do not take any photographs. Please don't take any videos. Of course, we can't stop the people who are joining us online, but the people who are here in person would request you not to take any photographs or shoot any videos. If you have any questions, any concerns, any suggestions regarding the event and how it's hosted, or if you have any suggestions for improvements of these events, of Ishwarji's events, then you can share those at the registration desk. And people who are attending this event in person would request you to register yourself first. So there is a Sevadar who's sitting at the end of this corridor on the right side. Please do register yourself, mention your details so that we can keep the records for future events and we could send out those communications to you in advance. This event is organized by Isha Trust. Isha Trust is a non-religious, non-profit public charitable trust which was set up by Ishwarji under his guidance, under his blessings, to carry out his seva work and great masters' seva work in India. And anything that if you would like to make any donations, so there is a donation sevadar sitting there. Please feel free to reach out to him. The schedule of today's event. So this is the second day. We had the event yesterday as well. The schedule today is going to be very similar to yesterday. Starting now, we'll have our Shabd Sevadars. They will recite Shabds. The Shabds will go on till 11 a.m. IST. 11 a.m. onwards, we'll have one of our Sevadars, Sevadar speakers who would come over, Nipun, he would come over and give a talk, which will go on till 12:30 p.m. IST. And at around 12:30, we'll break for lunch. The online YouTube live stream will stop at 12:30, and then we'll resume again at around 1:30 p.m. So 12:30 to 1:30 is going to be lunch. And that's when, that would be the final event, the final session of our 2-day event, the Bhandara event of Ishwarji. Welcome you all once again. Thank you so much for joining us.
कलाम साईं बुल्ले शाह जी। ना खुदा मसीते लबदा ना खुदा विच काबे ना खुदा कुरान किताबां ना खुदा नमाज़े ना खुदा मैं तीरथ डिठा, एवें पैंडे चागे बुल्ला शाह जद मुर्शद मिल गया, छुट्टे सब तगादे। अरबा अनासर महल बनायो, विच वड़ बैठा पे, आपे कुड़ियां आपे नींगर, आपे बनना है मापे। आपे मरे तापे जीवे, आपे करे से आपे, भुलिया जो कुछ कुदरत रब दी, आपे आप सिनापे। आई रुत शगुफियाँ वाली, चिड़ियाँ चुगन आइयाँ, इक नानू जुरिया ले खादा, इक ना फाइयां लाइयां। इक नास मुड़न दी आही, इक सीख कबाब चढ़ाइयां, बुल्ले शाह की वस ओना, जो मार तकदीर फसाइयां। बुल्ले नु लोक मत्ती देंदे, बुल्लिया तू जा बहो विच मसीती, विच मसीतां की कुछ हुंदा, जे दिलों नमाज ना कीती। बारों पाक किते की हुंदा, जे अंदरों न गई पलीती, बिन मुर्शद कामल बुलिया तेरी ऐवें गई इबादत कीती बुलिया आशिक होइयो रब दा मुलामत होई लख लोक काफर काफर आख दे तू आहूं आहूं आख दौलत मंदा ने बुइयां उत्ते चौबदार बहाए पकड़ दरवाजा हरी सच्चे दा जिथों दुख दिल दा मिट जाए पकड़ दरवाजा हरी सच्चे दा जिथों दुख दिल दा मिट जाए
बाणी स्वामी जी महाराज बचन 33वां शब्द 11वां। कर दो नाम दीवाना जी अब कर दो नाम दीवाना कर दो नाम दीवाना जी अब कर दो नाम दीवाना मांगू एक गुरु से दाना मांगू एक गुरु से दाना घट शब्द देव पहचाना घट शब्द देव पहचाना कर दो नाम दीवाना जी अब कर दो नाम दीवाना मन साथ सदा भरमाना मन साथ सदा भरमाना कर कृपा कर्म छुड़ाना जी अब कर दो नाम दीवाना कर दो नाम दीवाना जी अब कर दो नाम दीवाना सूरत चढ़े सुने धुन ताना सूरत चढ़े सुने धुन ताना मन मारो कर मनसाना जी अब कर दो नाम दीवाना कर दो नाम दीवाना जी अब कर दो नाम दीवाना सब छूटे बान कुबाना सब छूटे बान कुबाना सत्य शब्द मिले दृढ़ताना जी अब कर दो नाम दीवाना कर दो नाम दीवाना जी अब कर दो नाम दीवाना मैं ताकू शब्द निशाना मैं ताकू शब्द निशाना अब कर दो नाम दीवाना जी, अब कर दो नाम दीवाना। कोई करे न मेरी हाना, कोई करे न मेरी हाना। मोहे तुम पर बल बल जाना जी, अब कर दो नाम दीवाना। कर दो नाम दीवाना जी, अब कर दो नाम दीवाना। कल धारा मुझे न बहाना, कल धारा मुझे न बहाना। मोहे देना शब्द ठिकाना जी, अब कर दो नाम दीवाना। कर दो नाम दीवाना जी, अब कर दो नाम दीवाना। मन हो गया बहुत निमाना, मन हो गया बहुत निमाना। अब राधा स्वामी चरण समाना जी, अब कर दो नाम दीवाना। कर दो नाम दीवाना जी, अब कर दो नाम दीवाना।
बानी स्वामी जी महाराज। बचन 28वां, शब्द 3। मोहे मिला सुहाग गुरु का, मैं पाया नाम गुरु का। मोहे मिला सुहाग गुरु का, मैं पाया नाम गुरु का। मैं सरना लिया गुरु का, मैं किंकर हुआ गुरु का। मेरे मस्तक हाथ गुरु का, मैं हुआ गुलाम गुरु का। मोहे मिला सुहाग गुरु का, मैं पाया नाम गुरु का। मैं पाया धार गुरु का, मैं पकड़ा चरण गुरु का। मैं सरबस हुआ गुरु का, मैं हो गया अपने गुरु का। मोहे मिला सुहाग गुरु का, मैं पाया नाम गुरु का। कोई और न मुझ सा गुरु का, मैं गुरु का, गुरु का। कोई और न मुझसा गुरु का, गुरु का। मैं गुरु का, गुरु का। राधा स्वामी नाम यह धुर का, मैं पाया धाम उधर का। मोह मिला सुहाग गुरु का, मैं पाया नाम गुरु का।
कलाम साईं बुल्ले शाह। दिल लोचे माही यार नू, दिल लोचे माही यार नू, दिल लोचे माही यार नू। एक हस हस गल्ला कर दिया, एक रोंदिया धोंदिया मर, हस हस गल्ला कर दिया, एक रोंदिया धोंदिया मर दिया। कहो फुल्ली बसंत बहार नू, कहो फुल्ली बसंत बहार नू, दिल लोचे माही यार नू, दिल लोचे माही यार नू, दिल लोचे माही यार नू। मैं नाती धोती रह गई, एक गंड माही दिल बह गई। मैं नाती धोती रह गई, एक गंड माही दिल बह गई। भालाइए हार श्रृंगार नू, भालाइए हार श्रृंगार नू, दिल लोचे माही यार नू, दिल लोचे माही यार नू, दिल लोचे माही यार नू। मैं कमली की ती दूतियाँ, दुख घेर चुपेरों लीतियाँ, मैं कमली की ती दूतियाँ, दुख घेर चुपेरों लीतियाँ, घर आ माही दीदार नू, घर आ माही दीदार नू, दिल लोचे माही यार नू, दिल लोचे माही यार नू, दिल लोचे माही यार नू, बुल्ला शाह मेरे घर आया, मैं घुट रांझण गल लाया, बुल्ला शाह मेरे घर आया, मैं घुट रांझण गल लाया, दुख गए समुंदर पार नू, दुख गए समुंदर पार नू, दिल लोचे माही यार नू, दिल लोचे माही यार नू, दिल लोचे माही यार नू।
बानी धनी धर्मदास जी। मेहरबान है साहिब मेरा, मेहरबान है साहिब मेरा, दिल भर दर्शन पाऊं तेरा, मेहरबान है साहिब मेरा, तुम दाता मैं सदा भिखारी, तुम दाता मैं सदा भिखारी, देव दीदार जाऊं बलिहारी, मेहरबान है साहिब मेरा, दिल भर दर्शन पाऊं तेरा, मेहरबान है साहिब मेरा, कर खिजमत दीजे, करो बंदगी खिजमत दीजे, बख्शो चूक दया बहु कीजे, मेहरबान है साहिब मेरा, दिल भर दर्शन पाऊं तेरा, मेहरबान है साहिब मेरा। सेवक ते बिगड़े सौ बारा, सेवक ते बिगड़े सौ बारा, सतगुरु साहिब लेव उबारा, मेहरबान है साहिब मेरा, दिल भर दर्शन पाऊं तेरा, मेहरबान है साहिब मेरा। ओ गुण सेवक साहिब जाने, अवगुण सेवक साहिब जाने, साहिब मन में नागिले आने, मेहरबान है साहिब मेरा, दिल भर दर्शन पाऊं तेरा, मेहरबान है साहिब मेरा। धर्मदास लई तुम्हारी पनाह, धर्मदास लई तुम्हारी पनाह, अगले पिछले बकस गुनाह, मेहरबान है साहिब मेरा, दिल भर दर्शन पाऊं तेरा, मेहरबान है साहिब मेरा, मेहरबान है साहिब मेरा।
बानी स्वामी जी महाराज, वचन 33वां, शब्द 20वां। लगाओ मेरी नैया सतगुरु पार लगाओ मेरी नैया, सतगुरु पार मैं बही जात जग धार, तुम बिन नाही को कढ़ियार, तुम बिन नाही को कढ़ियार, लगा दो डूबी खेप किनार, लगा दो डूबी खेप किनार, सहेली मत तू मन में हार, सहेली मत तू मन में हार, दिखाऊं जग का वार और पार, दिखाऊं जग का वार और पार, चढ़ाऊं सूरत उल्टी धार, चढ़ाऊं सूरत उल्टी धार, शब्द संग खेय उतारूं पार, शब्द संग खेय उतारूं पार, लगाओ मेरी नैया, सतगुरु पार, गुरु को धर ले ये मंझार, गुरु को धर ले ये मंझार, नाम धुन घट में सुन झनकार, नाम धुन घट में सुन झनकार, तरंगे उठती बारंबार, तरंगे उठती बारंबार, भंवर जहाँ पड़ते बहुत अपार। मेहर से पहुँची 10वें द्वार, मेहर से पहुँची 10वें द्वार। राधा स्वामी दीन्हा पार उतार, राधा स्वामी दीन्हा पार उतार। लगाओ मेरी नैया सतगुरु पार।
सारग महला पंजवा। ठाकुर तुम शरनाई आया, ठाकुर तुम शरनाई आया, तुम शरनाई आया, ठाकुर तुम शरनाई आया। उतर गयो मेरे मन का संसा जब तेरा दर्शन पाया, उतर गयो मेरे मन का संसा जब ते दर्शन पाया, जब ते दर्शन पाया, ठाकुर तुम शरनाई आया, तुम शरनाई आया, ठाकुर तुम शरनाई आया। अनबोलत मेरी बिरथा जानी अपना नाम जपाया, अनबोलत मेरी बिरथा जानी अपना नाम जपाया, अपना नाम जपाया, ठाकुर तुम शरनाई आया, तुम शरनाई आया, ठाकुर तुम शरनाई आया। दुख नाटे सुख सहज समाए, आनंद आनंद गुण गाया, दुख नाटे सुख सहज समाए, आनंद आनंद गुण गाया, आनंद आनंद गुण गाया, ठाकुर तुम शरनाई आया, तुम शरनाई आया, ठाकुर तुम शरनाई आया। बाहाँ पकड़ कढ़ली ने अपने ग्रह अंधकूप ते माया, बाहाँ पकड़ कढ़ली ने अपने ग्रह अंधकूप ते माया, ग्रह अंधकूप ते माया, ठाकुर तुम शरनाई आया, तुम शरनाई आया, ठाकुर तुम शरनाई आया। कहो नानक गुर बंधन काटे, बिछुड़त आन मिलाया, कहो नानक गुर बंधन काटे, बिछुड़त आन मिलाया, बिछुड़त आन मिलाया ठाकुर तुम शरणाई आया, तुम शरणाई आया ठाकुर तुम शरणाई आया।
Welcome friends to the second day of Ishwar Ji's Bhandara. With the grace of Bade Maharaj Huzur Sawan Singh Ji and our beloved Ishwar Ji, we are blessed to have this opportunity over these 2 days to celebrate something which is not physical but on the physical plane. Something which is spiritual, something which cannot be explained by spoken words, but we celebrate it. This is a great opportunity. And this kind of understanding, not everybody gets a chance to understand this kind of understanding in the human life. So I feel we all who are sitting here, those who are seeing this program online, are really lucky. We are so lucky, even the odds of winning a lottery ticket are even higher, or we are luckier than that as well, because we've got a lottery ticket from our beloved to surpass everything. So that's what we celebrate, that we had the opportunity of having the company of a perfect living master in our lives, which has made such an impression on all of us. I see that association in all of your eyes. I see the devotion you carry for your master in your eyes, and that makes us more induced towards the path, that makes us more induced towards following the teachings of the master more sincerely, with more devotion. And that's the all purpose of having a physical event here in Delhi. And Ishwar Ji used to emphasize the importance of Sangat mein Rangat. The more you are in Sangat or together with like-minded peoples, you get more induction of the same thing which all the like-minded carry. The more you are in the worldly, if you have company of people who are, having the liking of the virtues of the minds, you get that induction. If you are in Sangat of devotees of a perfect living master, you get induced with the same devotion, the individual person who are there at that moment of time. So we are really lucky, and I guess seva work of great master and Ishwar Ji will carry on till the time we all lucky ones are here. So I feel very lucky to being found by Ishwar Ji. So it took, personally, if I share with you, it took more than 10 years to get initiated. So initiation is the lottery ticket. First lottery ticket that you are having a human life. The second lottery ticket is that you are found by a master and you get Naam Dan. It's the biggest dan one can give you, Naam Dan. And after that, the progressive lottery ticket is Bhakti Dan. So both are given by a perfect living master. All of us are lucky enough to have his darshan, his drishti, his prashad, and namdan, and bhakti dan. So on that note, let's proceed for the agenda for the second day. So till yesterday, we were discussing or we were sharing, concepts of grace and what's the purpose of having a perfect living master in our lives, what's the importance of namdan, and what is the balance between grace versus efforts, what is the major thing required for accepting onto the spiritual path, that is seeking, or the jigyasa in the jigyasu. So today, if I just stop the lecture today and if you just hear the first lecture which we had yesterday, one can easily say that every religion says the same thing. You follow any religion, every religion would say the same thing. Do some kind of seva, do bhakti, and it will happen. But there is a small catch between the things which we do here and the things which are done in religious institutions. The small catch is, when a perfect living master initiates you, he gives you a type of meditation which one initiate can practice in the physical world and verify each and everything said during that initiation right here, right now. This is a path of living belief, living faith. This is not a path of blind faith. This is not the path of, getting some knowledge of somebody's experience. This is a path of your believing your own experiences, moving on the spiritual path with your experiences which you got in meditation, which you got in your daily lives. So you build upon those experiences and move on this path, and you get verified answers within yourself, either from inside, either in a dream, or physically the master would give you such a coincidence, and you will be stumbled upon that how master works. So this is a practical path. Ishwar ji used to say in Hindi, karni da marg hai. It's a seeker who's initiated by a perfect living master can, in this physical world, verify everything regarding the mental realms, the inner realms, and the spiritual realms, which is a big thing. Because you can experience spirituality sitting here in the physical. And if somebody who's hearing this for the first time would really say that, how is that possible? How can one sitting in a physical body can have experiences of spirituality or the spiritual realms which feel that they are unreal here, because we have sticked our all attention in this physical world and we believe that this is only the reality. So this is a big gift which we have got, and that's why we realize the Bhandara days. So moving on, the condition, I explained the condition, why a condition of meditation has been given. The condition of meditation is given, first of all, to get your experiences so that the mind is not doubting. The mind is, calmed down with the experiences which you get upon, and you can differentiate between the mind's will and the spiritual will, between the voice of your soul, between the voice of your Atma and the voice of your mind. You can straightforwardly, you will be able to differentiate between the two. Right now our position is, it's tied like a knot. It's tied like a knot, and you are not able to differentiate. Sometimes we get an intuition and we feel that this is what I have to do. But then what we do, we think upon it, we put some more time into it. Time in Hindi is kal. So we put kal into it and we do another thing, the opposite of it sometimes. And when we get the result which was not expected from the act which we did, then we realize that the intuition was correct. The intuition comes from the Atma, the intuition comes from the soul. So right here, right now, with the type of meditation which Ishwarji and Bade Maharaji prescribed, you can increase the frequency of intuitions. You can increase the power of, the Atma, the Avaz, or the voice of the soul, which is being exploited by the mind, and you can slow down or taper off slowly the virtues of the mind, the face of the mind, which is the ego, and the other anger, lust, greed, possessiveness, which are the children of the mind which they are. So this is a big thing. This is one benefit which you can get with meditation. Are there any others? Yes. The biggest is you can die while living. The only fear one has in this human life is the fear of death. And what these perfect living masters explain us is that if you meditate the way they prescribe, if you follow the instructions given during the Namdan, while you are here physically, you will get all confirmations that you as a soul would go nowhere. Your life as a soul would not end after the death of the physical body, even after the death of the astral body, even after the death of the mental body. You will stay as is because you yourself are powering these covers. You yourself, the real self of you, are powering the three covers which are abusing your true self. So this is the other benefit, that you become a fearless person here in the physical world. You are not physically, you are not afraid of anything, because you know Master is taking care of everything. And the side benefit of this is your account from the angel of death has been removed and transferred. Your file is being transferred to the Master or to the Kul Malik, and the Master takes care of you even after death. Recently, I lost both of my parents, both of them. I lost my father in 2021, and after a year and a half, I lost my mother. And Ishwarji stood by me. This is something which is not coming from any meditation. This is just that I am a disciple of Ishwarji. Ishwarji stood by me every time he was there. He gave me all indications what is going to happen, spot on. And I, as a physical person, you have attachment with your parents, but he gave that time that we are, we resolve our emotions and we get closure with our parents. And I am 110% sure that my parents are in a very good place. So this is something, which gives you that feeling of being a true chela, being a true disciple, being a true sevadar, being a true warrior, what Ishwarji used to say. That no fears, no nothing, no negativity can touch you. And I'll explain this later why, but no negativity can touch you, no angel of death can do anything, no Kal can do anything about you, because you are with the Dayal. Your file has been taken from the database of Kal and being handed over to Dayal. So these are things which are very great, which I cannot explain by words these things, how these gifts are being given to us without any effort. And just by coincidences, these things happen with the seeker and they get this. So these are the benefits of doing one type of meditation which is being prescribed by Ishwarji and Bade Maharaj. And all meditation is done by the mind, is done for the mind, is to make our mind our friend. I explained this thing in my previous lectures differently, but I thought I should take up this topic differently this time. All meditation which you do is just to make your mind your friend, which is sitting against you, which has been abusing you, which has pulled your attention from the center, third eye center, to the downward chakras, and abusing 24/7. So all we have to do in this type of meditation is to calm your mind, to make your mind your friend. And once Bade Maharaj Ji used to say, once your mind is your friend, then then your janam maran ke fere se aap nikal sakte ho. Your vicious cycle of your life and death, which we talked about yesterday, you can get out of it only when your mind becomes your friend. And he further explains that this is the whole soul objectivity of having a human life, is to get this understanding and move ahead and make your mind a friend and move ahead to your true self, to move ahead to your true nature, to move ahead to get to know who you are and be there all the time in totality of blissness and totality of consciousness. So these are the benefits which one can get with this type of meditation. Now, to get into specifics, I will just review with you. I'll just review the points or the type of meditation which Ishwarji used to explain with the description of each part of it. So, as a definition, the type of meditation it's called Surat Shabd Yoga. So Surat is your attention. Surat is something which is explained as if it's the outward expression of the soul, and Surat itself has two parts. One is the power of listening and one is the power of seeing, Nirat. So whatever work you do over here, you need to put attention on it, only then you are able to do. So the component which is coming from that knot, which has the characteristic of your true self, is the attention, which has again divided into two parts. So the power of seeing and the power of listening. And this power of seeing and listening will stay with you even in your spiritual realms. Even when you travel from your mental realms to the spiritual realms, these two characteristics never leave you, because these two characteristics are coming from your own self. So that's why, this is the reason why sometimes when the true meditators or devoted disciples, when they get spiritual experiences, they are not able to explain it by words. Ishwarji used to say, naiti, 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 not this, not this, not this. They cannot explain to you by spoken words the true spiritual experience in the physical world, because the power of speech has no value there. You have left the power of speech, which comes from the mind. So that is your Surat. The meaning of Surat in the yoga definition, Surat Shabad Yoga. Surat means your attention. Shabad is explained as in the Gurbani that Shabad is the Guru. Shabad Guru, Surat Dhun Chela, which comes in the Gurbani. Further, the Gurbani explains Shabde Dharti, Shabde Akash, Shabad Beha Prakash. That the Shabad created everything. The Shabad created the skies, the Shabad created the earth, the Shabad created the Shabad itself. So the creative power, which Ishwarji used to say, the totality of consciousness created itself and the other things. Why? Just to experience the duality of positivity and negativity, and to experience the how a beloved would have, devotees, to have why a beloved would have this creation just for an experience of the opposite of it. And that is created by the totality of consciousness. And this totality of consciousness, which Ishwarji used to explain in his discourses, is the Shabad part in the definition. And Yog means union. Yog means when your Surat is being in union with the Shabad. Right now, our Surat is being abused by the mind. Right now, the Surat has been, activated the mind. You take up an Akashic record, then you take up these senses, the 5 senses which we have, then we take up a cover again, a physical body, and then we have karmas. Right now, the Surat is being abused by all the 3 covers of the mind in the physical world into our karmas. So now what we are trying to do in Surat Shabad Yog, we are trying to put this attention and make a connection with the Shabad, with the totality of consciousness, which is the true Guru, the true Shabad. Why I explained that Ishwarji is still with us, because Ishwarji physically, he was a physical person, but he carried that power of the totality of consciousness with him, which had given him seva to induce us that connection and make a connection of our Surat with the Shabad. So this is the meaning of Surat Shabad Yog. It is a kind of yog which is not of the centers of energy which are below the third eye center. The centers of energy which are below the third eye center, it is not that practice. It is something which is above the center from the third eye center. And those centers which are above, there are 12 centers which are above the third eye center, and there are 6 centers of energy which are below the third eye center. The meditation which Ishwarji used to prescribe to us is the meditation of going up from the third eye center to the center of awareness, and there are 12 centers described. So this is the definition of Surat Shabad Yog. And now I will explain further, go into deep how we can practice the Surat Shabad Yog for the ones who are initiated on the spiritual path by a perfect living master. So the first step is that how do you sit in meditation and where do you sit in meditation. The first thing is the most important thing, that how do you sit and where do you sit. How do you sit is that you sit straight in your wakeful state. You don't have to be lying down, or you don't have to be too comfortable. You have to be sitting in a comfortable chair, but not too comfort, so that your back is straight and neck is straight, so that you don't fall asleep. And you don't have to be too stringent so that you get pains in your knees or your back or your hands. You have to be in a comfortable position, and your back and neck has to be straight. Then the question comes, where do we sit? And this part, that where the understanding where we have to sit, Ishwarji himself struggled a lot to understand where we have to sit for doing the rest of the meditation. Many people think that we should have a temple in our home where we put a comfortable chair to remember Lord. Many people go to temples and any religious place that we will go there and meditate. But to follow this kind of meditation, you don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to build a proper chair or a proper temple or a proper place physically to, do this kind of meditation. Why you don't have to do it? Because if you do these things, then all your attention is again going into that chair where you sit, which you have bought specifically for this, or you have all the attention is then trapped in that temple of yours which you have built. So you don't have to sit anywhere on a specific place physically. All you have to do is you have to put your attention or concentrate the attention which is being diluted from the third eye center, from the energy centers into at the third eye center. So you sit at the third eye center. Now, how do you sit at the third eye center? This was one of the questions which Ishwarji asked Bade Maharaj Ji, and now I am sharing my personal experience. I asked Ishwarji during the initiation, and when I asked Ishwarji laughed. I asked in a big paragraph. So I asked Ishwarji, you say you need to sit in the third eye center. The third eye center is, which you explain in your discourses, at behind the eyes. If I put a rod from one ear to the other, and I basically put parallel lines from my eyes, that bench is the third eye center. Now, how do I physically go there? And after I explained this, he was seeing me and he laughed. I said, I said, I didn't ask a joke, I guess. I was confused. And he said, Nipun, right now, when you are speaking, you are at the third eye center. Always in your wakeful state, every human being is at the third eye center. You are nowhere else. You are always there. Now, the condition of sitting there, which Ishwarji explains further, is that you need to concentrate your attention, which is being diluted from in the centers of energy, to that third eye center. You are there, but you don't feel that you are there. Now, for getting that feeling, Ishwarji, Bade Maharaj Ji gave a tip to Ishwarji, and Ishwarji passed that tip as is to us, is that the power of imagination would help you to get that attention concentrated at the third eye center. So, this is the trick, and this is the tip which Ishwarji gave us, which Bade Maharaj Ji gave Ishwarji, and that was passed on to us, and which helped him, and which will help us always. And recently, it was benefited in the IMR by many of the seekers who have attended it, that the power of if you start your meditation with using the power of imagination, it gives a big push ahead in your meditation, in doing the other parts of meditation, which is Simran and Dhyan. Why does it give a push? It gives a push because with the power of imagination, you have replaced the thoughts and the vichardhara of the world, of your karmas, of the circumstances which you are going through. You have replaced that and you have concentrated everything in that imagination. So when you are sitting there in your imagination, you can do good quality Simran, you can do good quality Dhyan. And many of the seekers who attended that IMR in Rishikesh recently have benefited. This is not what I am saying. You can ask them directly. So this is the benefit of power of imagination. And I have a conversation with many old satsangis which say, no, our Guru has not told us to do imagination. Our Guru has said, just close your eyes and do Simran and do Dhyan. So I ask them, then while doing Simran, does your mind come in between? Do you remember your office work? Do you remember about the daily chores? Do you remember about the things, the fights which you have with your wives? Do you remember about the things going around with your kids? They say yes. Then I said, what is the benefit of doing Simran then? You have lost the objectivity of Simran. So if that stands true, the old satsangis, what they are saying, that stands true. That if you close your eyes and you are so devoted with your master that by just closing your eyes you see the master in darkness, then you start Simran and do his dhyan. That stands true. But we in the physical plane, we in Kali Yuga, are having so much of karma which we have to pay off. It's very difficult for us of having that earnest devotion for our master, so as that we just close our eyes and see our master. We are being involved in so many responsibilities that it is not possible to do good quality Simran without using your imagination. So this is it. The other way of explaining why we have to use imagination, if I want to discuss this intellectually, then I found a saying which Ishwar ji used to say, that mind has a quality. Mind has a very big quality, that willing suspension of disbelief. That willingly you will ignore the logical and the thinking process or a logical frame of mind just to explore something which is unreal, something which is not of reality. So this is called a quality of the mind, willing suspension of disbelief. So you can use the same here. We are not saying imagination is real. Till the time our attention is trapped in the physical world, we are not saying it is real. It is unreal. You use the quality of the mind, that the mind, please suspend, willingly suspend the notion of disbelief and just accept and assume that this is real. The power of imagination will help you. Just use that quality of the mind. The same thing which you do when you are seeing a movie, which Ishwar ji used to explain. Then when you see a movie, you know that it's a movie. You know it's being, coming from the projector. You know that the reel of the movie is there. It's spread out. If I put 30 pictures per frame, it becomes a movie. It becomes a movie on the screen. And when you sit in the cinema hall and you say that this is not real, but just for the sake of understanding the meaning in that movie, just for the sake of even entertainment, we ignore that feeling of the mind that says, that part of the mind which says that this is unreal. So use that tool of the mind to use power of imagination to the utmost advantage for you to do good quality meditation. So, and how do you use it? You just close your eyes, think that the darkness which you see is in front of you. You are seeing darkness as a curtain, and then you can imagine anything. Start imagining a room or whatever the best imagination which you can have, the best room which you can have. One of the seekers, one of the disciples during the IMR, he said, Nipunji, I destructed all old rooms which I had built. And I constructed a new room with everything 5-star, with everything, with gold and everything which is luxurious. Because this is IMR of Ishwar ji, I want him to come in a new room. So he spent a lot of time in constructing that room of imagination. And while he was doing it, what happened? The mind was not involved in thinking of the worldly affairs which you are involved. Mind was used in building that imagination. And the tip to use imagination to the best is imagine with all specifics. Imagine with every spick and spine of your room or any environment which you are creating. Go into the detailing. Like you are building your own home physically, you make a toll of the interior designer and the builder that it should be, I'm putting my hard-earned money. You have to build it very nicely. Put that, use your attention, use the power of the mind so in the detailing, so that all you are thinking is about that imaginary room which you are built. Now there is one mistake which people do in imagination. They imagine that they are walking in that room. They see a small person walking and they are behind that person or above that person. That is a big mistake. That is something which you are focusing. You don't have to focus. You have, as you are sitting here in the physical world, you can't see your face, you see your hands, your torso, your legs. In the same way, you have to see your astral hands, astral legs, and astral torso, and you move in that imagination. Like you walk here, right, like I see old seekers walking right now. So you have to be in that imagination. You have to feel yourself that you are there in the imagination. That is the true version or the right way to imagine. And the moment you are indulged into that, the benefits are that you don't think of the worldly things. You are all engrossed in that imagination. And then after building that, the room, getting the seat right, getting the chair, the astral chair right, then we move towards the next steps. Only then we start doing the next steps in meditation, which is Simran followed by Dhyan. So just give me a sec. I need to drink some physical water. So once you are settled in your imagination, during the IMR, we did many exercises as well, and the attendees, got some experiences with His grace, and they were able. The first time when we did it, it was difficult for some of them because it was a new concept. It was difficult for them to basically imagine that they are walking in that room or see their hands or feel their astral legs. But over those 3 days, we did so many short sessions of meditation that they get familiarized with this concept. And Ishwarji tells a good story about how practice makes you perfect. So this power of using your power of imagination is a mental activity which you are doing. It is with the mind, for the mind. Why? Because we have to remove our attention from the outward things and we have to take our attention inside to make a connection with the Shabd. So Bulle Shah used to say, Rabda ki paana, etho putna, etho lana. So ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪੁੱਟਣ ਦਾ ਕੰਮ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ, ਉਹ ਇਮੈਜੀਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਖਿਆਲੀ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ, so that we don't get the remembrance of our responsibilities while we are meditating. So you can use meditation to the fullest, imagination to the fullest, and once you are settled there, then we come to the next part. The next part is doing Simran, chanting of a mantra. Simran is chanting of the words which were given to you during initiation, the way they were given to you during initiation by your master, in the same rhythm, in the same way, in the same sequence. So what is the importance of doing Simran? Again, the importance of doing Simran is that you replace the thoughts of your activities outside and replace it with the words of the Simran. So, and the important the right way to do Simran is, when you are settled in your imagination, you have to do it with your astral self and use your mind to speak the words of the Simran loudly and clearly in the same rhythm, so that the mind does not open up any other channels. So Ishwarji used to explain that Dalai Lama, I guess, or some Buddhist meditators, were able to access 8 channels of the mind. Up to 8 they had able to access them. And you may also experience some more channels when you are doing Simran. So when you do Simran, sometimes you say, I am doing, yourself also, your mind would bring up a question, am I doing it in the right way? Am I slow? Is it the right words which I am speaking? And when you open up one channel, immediately one more channel will make a comment on how you are doing the Simran. And if those channels get opened up, eventually what will happen, it will bring up other thoughts, and eventually you will be thinking about your daily things which you do. And the objectivity of Simran is defeated. Many seekers say that we have to fight with our mind to do Simran. We don't have to fight with our mind. We have to make the mind do the Simran in the right way, and the right way is to make the Simran words speak as loud as possible so that no other channels comes up clearly and in the same rhythm which was given to you during your initiation by your master. And what do? You listen to your Simran. So the mind speaks the Simran, the words of the Simran, and you put your power of hearing, power of listening on the words which the mind is speaking loudly for you. So with this activity, when you do it in your imagination, you have completely trapped your mind and your thoughts with, first of all, the first level is your imagination. The second level is your words which you are speaking loudly. If your mind brings up any other channel, make the mind do the Simran more loudly. The louder it is, the better it is for you. You need to trap your thoughts, the other thoughts with the Simran. So that is the importance of Simran. There are many other benefits of Simran which Ishwarji used to explain. Ishwarji used to explain the words of Simran are charged by the master with positivity. No negativity can touch you. Now, how does that work? How? Yeah, for that only we do it loudly. For that only we do it so loudly that multiple thoughts which are coming are being disrupted. You have only one thought which is the sound, which is the, you listen only the Simran. The mind speaks and you listen. So you have to make the mind speak what you need to listen, and those are the words of the Simran. So you need to speak loudly with the mind. Like you have to even shout at times. Like we shout in the physical world when we are angry. You need to shout, use the mind in shouting so that no other thought can come in. We can have a session after this, right? Yeah. I'm very happy to see you. Okay. So, so Ishwarji used to explain that Simran are charged words. So, what is this charging happening? Simran are just varnatmak shabds. How can one give these words which are speakable, which has varnan, have a positive charge in them? And even these words can be found today on Google as well. You can find these words in one of the Shabds, I guess, of Kabir Sahib Ji. You can find these words easily. Right now, if you Google it right now, you will be able to find the 5 words. But finding those words will not solve your problem. Why it would not solve your problem? Because you have Ishwarji or a PLM. When a PLM initiates a disciple, he sees that why this soul has to be initiated, because this soul in the future, he has seen that while he gives the drishti. He's seen that this soul in the future will have the experiences of those realms, those 3 mental realms and 2 spiritual realms. Right? In the future, you as an initiate will have that actual experiences, and the power, the positive charge, which Ishwarji used to explain, is not coming from the 3 mental worlds. The positive charge which is there is coming from the spiritual realms, but because eventually your soul will have that experience, and you will have that experience of the spiritual realms, which is the source of positivity. So basically, when you get those words, a PLM sees your future and your past, but he sees your future, not only the future of your physical body, he sees your future of your soul. That's why we explain that he makes a connection with the soul. He makes with the connection with only that soul which has that future. A PLM is a very strategic person. He is not a PLM for everyone. He is a PLM for only the souls which has a good future, whose souls have good future, whose souls are going to have that spiritual experiences. And those words are carrying some value of that, some explanation of that experience, and that's why the charging is happening. So don't take these words as just words. Don't take these words which are given by a perfect living master to you just as words. They are not just words. They carry great value only for you. Only for you, given for you, and it will work for you to fight any type of negativity. Ishwarji explains many stories, actual experiences, how he played a fool about a witch who was doing some black magic, or how her wife was able to trick a witch who was doing some medical activity with, trying to make a patient okay, doing some black magic stuff. So any type of negativity, you can fight with it if you feel that this is a negative time, or if you feel the mind is getting strong, I am getting angry. Use Simran. It will beat it. Use Simran in any activity where you feel you are being negatively drenched. And this is a true fact. Even Ishwarji explained it. Those souls who have that future of having those spiritual experiences, and all initiates of PLM will go through, are attracted by negativity more. So you need to make this doing Simran tool, or you need to use this instrument so intensively or at disposal, so that no negativity, no negative power can come to you or touch you. And I myself, one of my uncles was an initiate of a PLM, and he used to do seva. And one part of seva, or some sevadars would personally, on a personal note, they used to take advantage of Simran. And how? They would find a property which is, being in possession of some bhoot or pret. And they would put their manji there, they put their, they put their data there, and they would meditate, they would do Simran, and the bhoot pret would run away and buy that property at a cheaper rate. I'm not saying you do this, but some of my uncles have abused the power of Simran, of buying properties and making business out of it. So don't do it. On a lighter note, we go so technical about things, so just wanted to share a light thing that Simran has big positive charge. The words of Simran have great meaning for you. You are going to have those experiences of each stage. Each word of Simran is associated by an inner realm, and it explains, it gives that definition of that inner realm. And if you chant those, you are bringing those realms towards you. You are attracting those realms towards you. So there is, in spirituality, there is a concept of jap. The more you jap of anything, that will happen. The more you, Ishwarji used to say, worrying is planning for failure. The more you worry, the more you fail, right? The more you think about the world, the more you are attracted by the worldly affairs. So what kind of jap you can do which can, make you spiritually more aware? Do jap of your Simran, which is being granted by you. The more you jap, the more you attract those lines towards you. So this is a great, these words are having a positive charge on you, and it is customized for every seeker. Not every master, not every seeker gets the same Simran. And this is what I realized. I was, when I got initiated, my mother and father were initiated by a different master. I was initiated by Ishwarji. So between, as disciples, my mother confirmed, what words did you got? I said, I can't tell you. So, no, I just want to check, are those 5? I said, those are 5. Okay, the third one has this one, ra. Yes. Okay, then you got the right thing. But this contention was broken by Ishwarji. And Ishwarji went to a place, I can't name that place. Over there, people can't do ra. People can't, in their language, they don't have ra. So if initiates can relate to with me, many of the words have the character ra or the sound ra. So Ishwarji initiated many people there in one session, I guess more than 500. And after that initiation, some of the seekers came to me. I was there in that event. And they are saying, Nipunji. I said, yes. Third world. I said, what third word? La. I said, what la? Then the coordinator came to me. They are not, Nipunji, they are not able to do the third word. They are saying la. So I said, there is no la there. So I told them the ra, and they were not able to do ra. Still they are doing la. And I then focused on in pronunciation ra, only ra for 5 minutes, and after then I gave the words, and they were able to do it. And in the evening we met Ishwarji, and I guess Chandraji was also there at that moment. I said, Ishwarji, the Namdan which you gave, the seekers are coming to me saying third word lala. They are not able to pronounce ra. Ishwarji in Punjabi said, oh, नहीं कर पा रहे, ओ लाला कर दे, और कोई गाल नहीं निपुण, मैं सिमरन दे वर्ड्स ही बदल देने. And I was stumbled upon. I said, हाँ चेंज कर देने, कोई गाल नहीं है. हाँ थोड़े लिए तो कोई गाल नहीं है. सारी गलियाँ तो साढ़े को ले. So at that moment of time, I realized what I am asking from whom. He can do anything, anywhere, with anything, anyone. So I guess he changed the word. Maybe he changed the words for the next batch who was initiated in that country. And this is what a PLM is actually. And he can change anything inside out for a seeker, for a disciple, and make the life of the seeker, disciple comfortable so that you get those experiences which you have in the words. So this is Simran. I tried to explain Simran. And how do you know that you do good quality Simran? So there are some indicators which you get. The first most indicator you get is that you feel, you get this experience, if you do Simran correctly, that you are not the speaker. You yourself are the listener. You yourself is the person, is some entity in you who is not speaking the words. The mind is speaking the words. You are not the one who is speaking those words. You are listening. and you are observing the imagination, you are experiencing. And this is a big realization. This is the first experience which you can get doing a mental exercise, that you are something else than the mind which is speaking. You are someone else who is sitting in the body with the mind, but you are not the mind. So this is a big realization one disciple can get in meditation with practice, that you are separate from the mind, and this is the first experience which you get, that you have loosened that knot which is tied tightly at the third eye center between the soul and the mind. And this is the first experience which you get of loosening of that knot. Are there any other indicators? Yes, the other indicators are, if you do quality Simran in the right way, which was given to you, in the right rhythm, which your master gave, it will actually make you remember of your master. The way he gave you, in the way he sat on that chair and gave you, you will actually, your mind will make you remember, will bring up that memory automatically. So right now your position was, you are there in a room which is imaginary, with doing a mental activity of Simran in a right way. Your mind will bring up that memory of that day of initiation which you received from your master automatically, without any efforts, without any heart, without any stubbornness. Automatically the mind will bring that memory up. And this is the next part of meditation which we are trying to explain, that the mind brings up that memory, that is dhyan, that is true dhyan. Dhyan also can be done in two ways. For the ones who want to practice this kind of meditation and who are not initiated, can use imagination itself of, imagine that the guru is coming in your room. But for initiates who are initiated by a perfect living master, the true dhyan is when you remember the form of your master. And how it can happen? It can happen with good quality Simran. The Simran will trigger the mind. The doing good quality Simran will make a trigger on your mind that you got this with someone who gave you, and that memory will come in. Your imagination, now you move away from the imagination. You used the power of imagination in calming, in detaching from your worldly affairs to the imagination, and now your Simran is your bridge between the imagination and your true memory which comes up. And when that comes up, many of the seekers who attended the IMR gave this experience or shared this with me individually, that Nipunji, I started in the imagination, but I ended up in dhyan. I said, perfect. That's only you have to, that is the right way of doing it. So this is the power of Simran, that it can lead you to dhyan. And that is the next step which you have to do. And how can one do quality dhyan? For quality dhyan, I gave you I explained yesterday, if you have met your master physically many times, during personal meetings, during group meetings, during initiation, if you have met your master many times, you have many memories. That memories, if you imagine that memories as a, as a cup of memories, when you do good quality Simran, that cup of memories come up in your meditation. And why we say these 2 days are great, what is this grace all about, why these 2 days are good? When you meditate in these 2 days or on 2nd April, your quality of good Simran and Dhyan automatically amplifies. Automatically you are induced with those memories. Automatically those memories come in. And that is real Bhandara, to cherish all those memories in one go and get a pull in your spiritual progress. So this is dhyan. The best quality dhyan which you can do is remember the Guru as you saw him, as you had a conversation with him. Use that conversation as a starting step. And when do you know you see your Guru, as Ishwarji used to say, Bade Maharaj and Ishwarji used to say, as a radiant form? When in that old memory of yours, when you are reliving that memory, in that memory, you get a new conversation from your Guru. You have not had that conversation in the memory, but the Guru who's come as a radiant form in your dhyan, because you are doing good quality Simran, you are doing good quality dhyan on Bhandara days, it is very easy to get access of the radiant form of your Guru. And he'll have a new conversation with you, which you never had with him physically. And how do you confirm that? These are progressive steps. So first step was imagination, then was imagination with Simran. Then you move with Simran and Dhyan. When you are doing Simran and Dhyan, when your master is doing a new conversation, many satsangi says, how do you confirm that this is the real master? You confirm because you are still doing Simran. And with doing Simran, you are seeing the face and the eyes and the forehead of the master. So mind cannot make the forehead of the master and the eyes of the master, because the mind never ever experienced that, because the spiritual realms are above the mind. So mind cannot figure that portion out of a PLM. And if you are doing those chanting of those 5 words, and you had a new conversation with your master, you are 110% confirmed that you have seen the radiant form of your master. And this process of doing meditation is amplified on these 2 days. And that's why we celebrate Bhandara. Actually, I have told today why we celebrate Bhandara. So that is quality dhyan which you can achieve in your meditation, and you carry, when you do meditation over these 2 days, you carry that momentum daily. And every day, I explained yesterday, what does saints mean by saying Sant Diwali Nit Kare? Sant Diwali Nit Kare, you get that Diwali today and you celebrate every day. Every day you do Bhandara with your master. So this is a big thing which one can do only on the physical plane. One can do, first filter is physical plane in a physical human body. The next filter is found by a perfect living master. The next filter is being initiated, accepted by the perfect living master, and then doing good quality meditation, not mechanical, not by any effort, not by any hut, by just making it effortless, by just doing for the master. So you accept the master in your meditation. By accepting the master, you have loosened that knot of your mind, and then you can have access of him 24/7 in your life. So that is true dhyan. Just give me 1 sec. Now, as a mind has an output, of vichar dhara or thought processes, Suraj Shabad Yog also has an output. So the output are the 5 sounds which Ishwarji explained. So many people get confused between the words, the 5 words, and the 5 sounds. So the words are basically trying to having a definition, getting associated with some experiences of those 3 mental levels and 2 spiritual. The sounds are when you get any sound in your meditation that confirms that you are making progress in those spiritual realms. So, sounds are actually an output of Surat Shabad Yoga, that it's confirming that you are doing meditation in the right way. So, the first sound is Varnatmak sound, which you can do Varnan of, which I explained Simran. Simran is your first sound. And Simran done in the right way brings you up to the next sound. If you do Simran the way we explained, it brings you to the next sound, which is Dhunatmak. Dhunatmak, how do you know you are listening the Dhunatmak sound? The Dhanatmak sound has a pull in it, and which comes from your third eye center itself. It comes not from any right side or left side, or it is independent of any practice sounds which you hear. It comes as a pull, and it takes your attention very quickly. Your body will get empty, or you'll get that sun samadhi at your third eye center when you get that pull of that sound. So that is the way to identify it. And many people have this confusion that, can we do Dhunatmak sound with Simran? So if you are listening to the Dhunatmak sound, it will not be possible to do Simran at the same point of time. At same point of time, you will always have one sound only. You can't have two. Yeah, you may get some vibrations at first. The Dhunatmak will develop itself in you as a vibrations which are coming in you when you do good quality Dhyan and Simran. But when that Dhunatmak has matured, you won't be able to do Simran. So till that time when you don't get that dhun, you have to continue with your Simran. Then when you are in the Dhunatmak, you have the Dhunatmak will make you travel to the next sound, which is coming from your Karan Sharir, or the causal world, or the the top of the mind, which they say. That is Anhad. It's explained as Anhad. Anhad is a subtle surround sound which you cannot determine from where it's beginning and where it's ending. It is Anhad. The sound comes as if it's a surround sound, and you won't be able to get to know from where is that beginning of the sound and where is the end of that sound. And that makes me wonder that from the causal plane only you get the Akashic records, and you get so many karmas in that Akashic records that they are endless. So you can relate with that Anhad sound in a way that your Sinchit karmas are endless. They are coming from that level, and that sound is also endless. It has no beginning, no end. When you get that Anhad Shabad, then the next, when you keep on meditating on it, then you move to the fourth sound. The fourth sound is explained in the spiritual path as Sar Shabd. This is the first spiritual realm which you have touched. And the first and the foremost spiritual realm which you have touched is nothing but you yourself. You yourself, which we are trying to explain during these 2 days, that you yourself are the soul which is powering the mind and the astral senses and the physical world. You yourself, when you hear, you don't hear it, you are there. So you, from yourself, the self is emitting that sound, the self is emitting that light from you. You are the Sar Shabad. And how do you experience it? When you mature in your meditation, you will feel that from you the sound is emitting. That is the definition of how you explain Sar Shabd. This is the first spiritual experience till now which you've got, the real spiritual experience in this physical world. This is the best thing, a hack of all trades, that in your physical plane you can touch upon that level. Once you are consumed, once you know, once you realize that you are Shabd, the next moment is when you see, personally to explain it, that the realization of the self was not given to you by yourself. The realization of the self was gifted by you, by your master. And then the soul wants to merge with the master, wants to be with the master always. And that's the fifth sound, Sat Shabd, that you as your soul get merged with the totality of consciousness, with the Karta Purak, with your master. So at the end, what happens is, at the end, at the fifth sound, you as a seeker, the guru, the sounds merge, one, become one with the one, and you have reached your true home, your true totality of consciousness. And once you have touched that, you get a realization in the physical plane. When you have touched that, you feel that you are just an instrument. This experience you can even get in your physical world, that you are just an experience, you are just an instrument, you are just a puppet. You are here in the drama, everything is given to you as a gift, as Ashtavakar gave Janak after realization. Ashtavakar said, take your tan, take your man, take your dhan, and use it at the fullest. Do seva. So that is when you get that realization. Here, sitting in this physical plane, you get that realization and you work as an instrument. For you, then everything becomes one. You see all the souls are the same souls coming from the same source. You have, Ishwarji used to say, first fill up your cup. So your cup is now full and it's overflowing. And you share that overflowing with everyone. And this kind of induction can happen only in Sangat. And that's the real meaning of Sangat Merangat. So these are the 5 sounds which you can get, and you can experience these. For initiates of Ishwarji, they don't know what they have, actually. They can experience all these things sitting here in the physical plane. They can access Ishwarji any time. Once Ishwarji, in this, we were having an event in 2017. It was only a personal meeting event, and it was stretched for 7-8 days. And I was involved in Seva. And as a role of Sevadar, I was a bit strict. People know me of all the strictness which I carried with me. And that was also given as an instruction by Ishwarji to me. And at times it gets overwhelming for the Sevadar also. So I took Ishwarji to the room, and we were waiting for the personal meeting list to come in. And I asked Ishwarji, now I see you don't have time for me. I confessed. This is what I'm trying to share, some personal thing with you. I said, Ishwarji, I feel that you don't have time for me. And you are so old, I am so young. I don't know how many years you are going to be here. At that time, I was just a normal, till today, I am a normal seeker. I am no special guy. But at that time, I was below normal also. So I felt that Guru has to be there with me all my life physically. I had that strong feeling to be with the Guru physically. So I confessed this. So Ishwarji said, Nipun, umra da chakkar to tu chhod de pehla. तेरी उम्र मेरी उम्र दा खेल नहीं है, साड़ी दोस्ती पक्की है. Then he further explained, I have unlimited time for you, and I have time for you every time. And I just took those words. I was not having that wisdom to understand what he's saying. But today I realize that what he said then stands still true today. That today physically he's not there, but still he's there. He's with us. And this is an experience which you can get by doing such kind of meditation which Ishwarji gave. So whatever he said to me applies to you as well. If you are initiate of a PLM, your Guru is with you till the time you are not merged with the Guru and become his instrument. Which takes me to the next topic. I guess we have 15 minutes. Yeah, thank you. I also have to take instructions from Sevadars. So which takes me to the next topic, which is one of my favorite topics, is Seva. Seva is the shortcut of doing meditation. So we as strong minds having big responsibilities in our daily lives, we cannot do meditation or take time out for doing meditation or good quality meditation. So Ishwarji and Bade Maharaj Ji gave a trick to us, a hack to us, that you can do this effortless meditation if you do Seva. Seva, Bade Maharaj Ji explained, Seva, if you do the Seva in the right way, Seva is equivalent to meditation. And let me elaborate a bit further the importance of Seva. Kabir Das Ji said that if you are in company of a perfect living master physically for half an hour, if you are listening to a perfect living master for half an hour, you are there in his company, it is equivalent to 1,000 years of meditation. This is what Kabir Das Ji said. Now, what I feel as a personal as a seeker, if just being in company with a master is equivalent to 1,000 years of meditation, what will happen if you do Seva for the master? What will happen if you just do Seva as an instructions, as an instrument for the master? You have become an operator for him. For you, meditation will become dry. For you, Seva will give you the real Meva. So, Seva is a big hack, a big shortcut which gives you the wisdom of doing incremental surrender. Our Sevadar explained the easiest way to go to have God realization is saying, Master, I surrender. That is the easiest way. But will you do it? Raja Janak did it for a few minutes and for few seconds he got that. But with Seva, if you do Seva with utmost devotion, you will with incremental days as you do Seva, you will surrender. And why will you do Seva at the first place? You will do Seva at the first place because while doing Simran, you had the experience you are not the mind. You differentiated yourself from the mind. Then when you every day when you are doing meditation, you get these realization then that I am not the mind has all karmas, I am just an observer. Why I am taking my life so seriously? Let me take it as a show, let me take it as a drama and just be an observer and doer. Whatever I have to do with utmost skill and with utmost devotion and with the utmost intention, with good intentions I have to do. When you keep doing this, you eventually become Karam Yogi. That Ishwarji used to explain, Karam Yogi is a yogi that you do your karmas. Karmas are your dharmas. You make your karmas your dharma. And this wisdom you have carried because of the meditation you were doing, that realization which you had, that I am something different from the mind. So you have started doing that. You have started taking your lives not that seriously. If something happens to you, you're not that affected. If someone is trying to have an argument with you, you don't impose your point so hard. You just accept it and move ahead. And you do Simran if negativity is attaching you. So you become a Karam Yogi. When you become a Karam Yogi and you are not expecting any results from your Karam, this is a big thing. You are not accepting any results from the Karam which you are doing. What will that happen? You will realize that whatever you did, you get more out of it. Whatever you performed for 10 marks, you got 20 out of 20. Because you did not put any connection or attachment or expectation out of it. You did it as a natural person. You just did your karma to the fullest, with your best of your knowledge, with the best skill. When you keep on doing meditation and become a Karam Yogi, then you realize that the benefits which I am getting being a Karam Yogi is not in my hands, it is of my Guru. Then you come into Bhakti Yoga. And when you become a Bhakti, you come in Bhakti Yoga, you say everything is done by the Master. And then you do Seva. Seva is not limited to performing anything for a specific organization, to do some Seva of having registration at the event. Seva you can do. Seva is an attitude of giving. And why it works, if I have to explain it with the concepts of the mind has a face called ego, right? The less the ego, the less the rest things of the mind, right? So we as mindful people are greedy, are lustful, are possessive, and have big ego. But the concept of seva is to give and not expect anything out of it. So when you give, you have given your mind a back seat, that boss, you have everything, you give, you start giving now, and make your requirements less, make your ego humble, keep your ego in that dipness of that humbleness. When you do that, what will you get? Supposedly you did a small act of gratitude, you gave some gift to a person who was needy, he got happy with that gift, but he will give you that blessing. And you get satisfaction from that blessing. And you feel that I got a real deal. He got the physical gift, you got the real deal. And this is the concept of seva. The more seva you do, the more incremental surrender you do, the more you do it every day, eventually one day you will surrender and you will say everything is full of love, blissness, and totality of consciousness is working through you. It's making you as an instrument. And the same way a PLM operates, his cup is full, he's given a task. He is full of compassion when you see suffering of karmas. He blesses you with his drishti. Same compassion will start inculcating in you. And you become a big instrument for the Karta Purak. So, this is what I wanted to share with you in theory. And we have a second session also. I guess the time is up and we'll break for lunch now. We had food for our soul and our mind now. It's time for having food for the body. We'll meet at 1:30 now. Thank you. Okay. The food is